Hi guys, it's craftytinas. Today's video I'm going to talk to you about how to use the Mini Cinch with 3 different size notebooks. All 3 were using index cards, but I want to show you a way other than the way the instructions are meant to be used. The one thing I don't care for on this machine is you cannot pull out the pegs to not punch holes like you can on the original. Now, even if you have the original or the mini, you're going to want to watch this video because I'm going to show you how to make 3 different notebooks, how we can punch different amounts of holes on either side for the portrait or a top for the landscape. So we are going to be using the Mini Cinch to make these books, but every one of these books can be made with the original cinch as well. Now, you are not limited to just punching the 6 holes, and you're not limited to having that first hole start so close to the edge. This is the way the instructions is intended. See how close that hole is to the edge? You do not have to do that. You can do what we've been doing with this cinch and making some really cool notebooks by not going to the edge. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I've also, as promised, have started making us a Mini Cinch log to go with the Mini Cinch like what we have for the original cinch. On my Facebook page, we have this log going, and it's ongoing because there's so many different sizes we can do and ways to do them. So I am in the process of starting a log, and that's what this video is going to also show. We're going to have a Mini Cinch log, and I'm going to somewhere on here put full-size cinch log. That way we know this log goes here, and our new log is going to go with the mini. Now, both machines punch the holes and bind the wires. This machine just happens to do square holes. This machine comes in square or round. If you get it's not the universal, it's the multi-cinch, not the Mini Cinch, you can replace the cartridge and have different shape holes for this machine only. This machine comes in round or square only, but it has a bigger variety of what you can do. It also binds small and large wires, where this one is limited to the 5/8. Now, I don't have 5/8 inch wire. We're using the 9/16. The 9/16 is just slightly above the 5/8 or slightly below the 5/8. So we're going to use this wire. It's cinched just fine. It's still perfectly round. It worked, so that is what I'm going to use. This is my favorite size wire because I can get this on Amazon in a pack of 10 different colors. So I really like this size. Now, another good feature about these 3 notebooks, and this applies to both machines, is the way I'm going to punch them. I'm going to get all 3 notebooks out of one strip of wire. One strip is 23, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Just checking. I get 23 of these double loops. If I did this, the punches, the way this machine is meant to be, I cannot use one wire for all 3 books. But because I am doing this unconventional, instead of 10 holes, I am punching 8. Instead of 12 holes, I am punching 8. And instead of 6 holes, well, I am still punching 6. I'm just doing it in 3 and 3. So I am going to be able to get my wires to fit both of these books. Each of these books, you can punch the holes in a different place or using a different amount. These are index cards. We're going to start with the small one. This index card is the 4x6 cut in half. So now it is a 4x3. Makes a perfect little mini book. I have taken my chipboard and I've already covered it. This is scrapbook paper on 30-point chipboard. Because I used paper to cover it, it makes these mini books so cute. They're not so thick that they won't fit in this wire. And again, I used my little handy dandy tool to check it out, and it does fit inside the wire. Now, if you were in my 1,000 subscriber Facebook contest, you got one of these. And I promised you that I would show you what these are for. This is a wire guide. These are your different size wires. This has a 5/8, which goes to this machine. Again, I don't have 5/8, I have 9/16. Close enough. If my book fits in that space, it will fit in that wire. And I know these are clear plastic and it's harder for you to see. This guide is so that you know what size wire you have in your hand. Say you had a bunch of different sizes, you mix them all up, and you cannot figure out what size wire this is. This is the 5/8, and you can see there's a little play here. 9/16 and 5/8 is very close. If I converted 5/8 to 16ths, this would be a 10/16. I'm using a 9/16. That's why it's slightly bigger on the inside. But that is what this guide is for. It's for you to tell what size wire and will my book fit inside that wire. You have this little gap here. My husband made these for me. I asked him to make me a few to do as a giveaway when I reached 1,000 followers on Facebook, and several people, I think we did five people got this. And it fits perfectly in there. So if you haven't made this guide, which I do have a YouTube showing you how, you can use a guide such as this. And you can buy these on Amazon or Etsy. If you know someone who does 3D printing, this was done with a laser. It's just acrylic plastic that he has cut. And of course he put craftytinas on it. So that is what this is for. Now that I know this will fit in my wire, in this size wire, I know I can use this machine. If this book was going to be thicker or smaller, I would need to use my full-size machine because this one is limited to this size wire. Luckily for us, it can do 9/16 and 5/8. So we're going to make this book, and we have options. We can make it bind on the left-hand side in a split wire format, which means there are 3 wires here and 3 wires down here. We could bind it using all 6 wires, but having space on both sides. We could also do a split wire on top using only 2. Now this is very handy when we have leftover wires. That's why I tell you in most of my videos, if you have a few wires left, save them. You don't need to save anything less than 2. If it's just one little double loop, go ahead and throw that away. And then our other option is 6 on top. I don't like how close these come to the edge because I got very, very used to having space on each side of my notebooks. So we have 4 options. I'm going to show you how you get this punch on all 4 options, and then we're going to make this book. Now for this one, there are 6 holes. This punches 6 holes. This measurement is very different than the original cinch. This measurement is not in inches, and I thought it was. And until tonight, when I was trying to make examples, I kept going, that is not an inch, that's too small. There's a 0 in the center, and there's a 1 on each side. Between the 1 and the 1, that is 1 inch. Between the 2 and the 2, that is 2 inches. 3 and 3, 3 inches, and so forth, all the way to 5. This is really neat for this machine, and I couldn't figure out why people were asking me why I was making the log. Why don't you just use the center mark? This one doesn't have the same center as this one. It does have a little center arrow here, but your 0 is not here with 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. It is over here. So I wanted to clarify that if you're looking at this and this, they are not the same. So this piece of index card is a 6x4 cut in half. I like this, so I already have lined pages. I don't have to like print out lined pages. I can go back in here and stamp little images or put little stickers to make them pretty. If I want to punch 6 holes across this 3-inch span, I simply line it up, 3 inch on this side, 3 inch on this side, put it all the way in the machine, line it up to 3 inches and 3 inches. The only thing I don't like is there's no guide to smash these up against to make sure all my pages are even, like the original has. That is my complaint so far with this one. And not being able to pull the pins out, I've kind of had to be creative to get us some different designs going. So if I put the paper between 3 inches and 3 inches and I punch, I get 6 holes with the equal amount of space on the ends. It's close, it is not perfect. But that is how I would punch to get this look on this notebook. Another way I can do it is a split 2 and 2. Now, I had a video on doing some notebooks. My first time I did the split wire. So we already have some information on how to do that. And since we're doing 2 holes, we simply need to go to the 3/4 inch mark right of the 0. So on this side of the 0, which is the right side, not this side, we're going to the 3/4 inch. So my paper would go on the right hand side at the 3/4 inch. I'm just making sure, guys. On the right hand side, we go to the 3/4 inch and punch. And by doing that, I'm only punching 2. So I'm going to do it on the other end so I can show you. I'm going to the 3/4 inch. My paper's on the right. My measurement is on the right side and my paper's on the right side, and I'm going to punch. That gave me 2 holes only. I flip it, do the exact same thing, go to the 3/4 inch and punch, and now I have the split wire punch, if that's what I want to do for this book. The next thing is 6 holes on the left side, not on the top. So this piece of paper is 4 inches and I want all 6 holes. So I simply place this at the 4 inch and the 4 inch mark and punch all 6 holes. And that put it in the middle. So this is the one I want to do the notebook with. I want to put 3 and 3. Because I'm using the 4 inch side, I simply go here. I want to line up my paper to 1 1/4 on the right. My paper this time, though, is on the left. My paper was on the right for the 2 punch. My paper is on the left, but my reading, the 1/4 inch, is on the right. And that's why I'm making a log, so you guys don't have to remember this on your own. So now for my 3 holes, I'm going to go to the 1/4 inch mark, the 1/4 inch being 1/4 inch on the right side of the 0. My paper is on the left. And I'm going to make sure that is on the log. And I punch, I get 3 holes, I flip it, go back to the 1/4 inch mark, and now I have 3 and 3. And that is how you punch the holes to make 4 different types of notebooks just with this one little 4x3 notebook. So now let's punch the holes for real. I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder, but it's really storming here in Florida. I'm making this book. Here is my first cover. With this machine, I would put both covers together and punch the holes. With this machine, you really can't do that. It doesn't offer enough punching power to do that. But that's okay. We can do them one at a time. We're going to put this on the 1/4 inch mark because I only want to punch 3 holes. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to put it back on the 1/4 inch mark. Punch it. And I did that twice just to clean it out because I noticed last time it would catch the piece of paper and it would stay in there. So now I have 3 and 3 holes. Gonna place it off to the side. Now I want to do my pages. Everybody asks, how many pages can I fit in this wire? It varies. This index card is super thin, so I am getting 30 pages in here. This is very thick, so I only get 20. That is why I can't make a guide showing you how many pages per spine. I can't put that on my log because it depends on what paper you're using. This is index cards, but they're thin. These are index cards, but they're thick. So it's going to vary. That's why I don't ever put it on here, because I don't want to confuse you. It also depends if you've covered your chipboard with paper or cardstock, because that's going to be thicker here and it's going to take away from some of your paper space. So because this is 30 and this machine is supposed to be able to do 15 and 15, technically we should be able to punch all of this. But guys, what I've seen from this little punch is I'm not going to overdo it. So I'm going to separate these out into 3 little stacks. That way it's punching like 10 each. So I want to make sure they're nice and stacked. I'm going to put it at the 1/4 inch mark. I'm going to punch. Flip. Punch. Now I have them. I'm going to put them face down. I'm just going to stack them up just like my book is going to look. Going to punch. This might be a little too many even for the machine. This machine is a brute. It can chop through this stuff like it's nothing. One thing I did notice that I was pleased when this machine came in was this handle is not plastic. This is metal. I kept thinking this was plastic and that it would just break if you put too much force on it. But I was very happy that that was metal. This is plastic, but this handle, even though it's white, is metal. I'm going to go back to the 1/4. We're going to flip. We're going to go to the 1/4 again. Doesn't do the best punching. I have to say that. That's why I did it twice. And I think doing it twice actually made it worse. I am still experimenting with this one. So if you have this one and you've done a better job, I hope you guys aren't cringing. Now I need to do the back cover. Now I want to make sure what side, because I did a video and punched it on the wrong side. So I want to make sure I punch on this side. I'm going to put this in here at the 1/4. If you're going to punch more than once, make sure you do not move this at all, not even the slightest. If you accidentally move it, don't do a second punch. And now I have this adorable little Christmas book. Now guys, you notice we're in the Christmas theme. That is because it is July and I have decided I am going to do Christmas in July crafts. We are going to have a whole bunch of Christmas stuff coming out. Now I need wires to bind it. I need 3 and 3. And you're probably asking, why didn't I just do 6 and be done with it? I love the look of split wires. I like the look of it. I kind of like that it has that little space in the center. So for me, I love it just like it is. I don't always hang my wires over here when they're split. You do have to take the bottom and put it on top. You want the outside pages facing each other. What you're looking at should be the inside. Sorry about that. Should be the inside of the back cover. And now I'm going to simply take and put my wire just like that. I'm going to do one at a time. I'm going to put this inside the back, all the way up against the back. You have to hold it to the back and then close. This one curves and closes them, so it kind of freaks me out where this one's straight. So I'm not quite used to that yet. Then I'm going to put the next wire over here. I'm going to put it all the way in the machine and I'm going to hold it. And there we go. They're all closed and it is round. There's no flat edges on these. Now we close our book. The reason we put that back cover on the top was so that the seam is inside the notebook. And you can do away with these little sharp things. I think they bend them in. They do all kinds of stuff. Isn't that absolutely adorable? Doesn't it make you just want to start Christmas? There we have our small book. Let's do the next one. This is a 3x5 index card. I have chipboard again, covered in scrapbook paper to make a cute little snowflake book. We have lots of options. For this book, I'm going to do 8 holes on the 5-inch size. The instructions tell me to do 10, but that's a lot of wire for a little book. I really do like the look of the wires not being so close to the edge. So I'm going to show you, this is a 5-inch card. So you would simply go 5 inches to 5 inches and punch. And that's how you'd get your 6. This is 3 inches. You would go 3 inches to 3 inches and punch. And then you would have a landscape 3x5 notebook. This, if you don't, this would be landscape, but it flips up. This would be landscape and flipping over to the left. The next two things is different. And when I say different is this machine wasn't intended to do this. I had to kind of like work out the math to figure out where to line it up to get 8 holes in the center and where to get 6 holes in the center. Because this is a 3x5, that was easy. I simply put it in there and punch, and I've got 6 holes. I forgot to tell you for this one. If you're going to put all 10 holes, you're going to use the guide, and this is the way you officially use this machine. You're going to place the guide into A. There's A, B, and C. You're going to place it into A. And the reason you place it into A, according to the directions, is that this, being 5 inches, ends in a whole number. It's not 4.5 or 3.5. It's a whole measurement. And that's why it's in A. Yes, I could move it to C and I would have more room at the beginning, but then my holes would not line up at the end. So for the whole numbers, I have to put it in A. I would then punch, and it would punch 6 holes. And then I would remove that, and just like the original cinch, I would have 6 holes here. I would have to put this guide into the next to the last hole, which would be this one, and I would lock it down and then punch again, and that punches 4 more holes to give me a total of 10. That is how you get 10. Using the little guide here going 5 to 5 is how you get 6 holes. You're simply putting just 6 holes in the center of this 5-inch piece of index card. But I want to do 8, and I don't want it to start this close. So here's how I came up with this. It's probably not the right way. It's not a professional way. It's just the way I had to figure it out for myself. This is 5 inches, so I would normally line this up at the 5 and the 5, but then that's only going to give me 6 holes, and I want 8. I found that if I line it up to the number 4, if I go to the right of the number 4 and punch, I get 6 holes. Then if I insert the first hole on the left into the guide, lock it down, and then punch, it will punch. Yes, it will punch 4 holes again in the same spot, and then it will punch these 2 because I only have 6 holes. I have the hole here, all the way to here, I want it to punch these two. So then I would punch again, and it punches these two. It also goes inside these holes because I can't stop it with the pegs like I do on this one, but it's okay to go into the same holes. They're already cut. And that is how I got it to be centered with space. And I thought that was pretty cool that we can actually, in a roundabout way, do it. So we basically line it up on the right side of the number 4, and that punches 1 through 6. Then the next to the last hole goes into the guide, and because that one's in the guide, this one does nothing. Even though these two, it's still going in there, it's only punching. Sorry guys. I'm going to line it up to 4, punch the holes. Let's go ahead and do that. This is important, and I want you guys to be able to understand it, so when I get the log out, you'll be able to follow it. We're going to punch the 4 holes. I need to punch 2 more holes. But I can't do it here because then the 3rd hole is going to punch. I need to punch my 2 over here. So by putting this guide into the first one, yes, it's going to re-punch these 4, but it's also going to punch 2 more. So if I put it in, and this guide's a little harder to get into than the other, but it might be because they're square holes. By putting it in here, making sure it's pushed all the way back, and I punch, it went into these 4 again, but you can't punch another hole inside, but it added 2 more, and that's how I got all the holes that I wanted, which was 8, not 12. Pretty cool, huh? So let's make this notebook and hope I don't mess it up. We're punching across the top. We're lining it up to the right of number 4 and punching. Then I'm going to insert the first hole into that little peg. And it's important to get it in there correctly because you are re-punching these holes and you don't want it to be off. Once I have it in there, I can punch again. It's not punching these 4 even though it's going down because those holes are already there. It's only punching the last 2. So now I have the beginning of my book. We are going to not do as many cards. So again, we're going to line it up to the right of the 4, punch all 6 holes, and that was too many. Now they're stuck. There we go. I'm going to take out half. I do have to say that this one, this little tray, okay, good. It fills up really fast. So again, we're going to put these in here to the right of the 4. We're going to punch. We're going to move this to here. We're going to secure it, making sure that little peg is in there properly, making sure it's pushed all the way back. Punch. Now we have all our holes. Let's do another small stack. If we can get that in there without it causing too much grief. Let's give it a try. We're going to put it at the 4. Punch. We're going to make sure that punched those out. Perfect. Now we're going to put that first hole into the little guide. We're going to punch again. Don't forget to open it up, because it will not let you have those papers. We're going to put it at the 4. We're going to put it at the, we're going to do the insert. Can't really see it around the camera. Make sure they're at the top. Open it back up. We're going to do this in 2 stacks. I don't want it to get stuck again. put the first one in again. And again, I want to make sure I get it in there. Open it up. And the last little stack, we're going to put it at the 4. Put the guide in the first one. Normally you would put this in the next to the last one, but because we're doing something special, that rule does not apply. And now we want to do the guide, to the back cover rather. And again, I want to stack everything up. It is not different top and bottom like this other one was because it's a one-way print, but I still want to make sure that I do it properly. So we're going to go to the 4. I'm going to go insert the first one. And now we have our next size book, and it opens from the top. So for this wire, we need 8. Just simply cutting the wire apart so that we have 8 double loops. This time we can bind it all in one shot. So we're just going to simply put our wire in. If you wish, you can put it on this side, or you can put it in. Now before we do anything else, we have to take this back cover off, leaving it the exact same way we took it off, lay it on top, because we want the front and back pieces to be face to face. And then we're going to put it in here. For these small little books, I got into a habit of putting them in by hand instead of hanging it. You can do it either way. We're going to flip this around. Another thing you don't have to do is you don't have to adjust this because you're never using a different size wire. With the original cinch, you always have to make sure you have this properly adjusted. So let's put this inside. Now, I'm not sure this is going to close all of these. It looks like that's the limit, but let's give it a try and see. We are testing this. And it did it. Well, it kind of did it. It mashed the edges out. So in the future, you guys will need to you'll need to press it down, leaving a little hanging out, and then go press the next one. Or you can just manipulate the wire when you're finished. Otherwise, it did pretty good. It's still rounded. I'm going to put this back in here. Just press it just to get those edges. So now we have our cute little index card snowflake book. In another video, I'm going to show you how to decorate these for Christmas and how to fix them up and make them into a nice gift set. Now for the last one. Hopefully you guys are catching on to how we're getting these measurements. They're optional ways. 6 on the side, 6 on the top, 10 on the top, and 12 on the top. The 12 on the top is standard, and it's how you're supposed to do it. That is simply putting the guide into A and making your first punch by putting it against the guide. Because we use the guide, we go to the next to the last, put it inside, and then punch. And that gets the entire 12 holes. So I was going to do the 8 on this one, but we're going to do the 6 to kind of help speed things up a little. I'm going to do the 6 on top. We have here 6 holes on the left, or 10 holes on the top. And again, it's the same way. It will be in my guide. To do the 10 holes on top, we're going to line it up to the right, number 4, punch, go to the 3rd hole on the left, and punch again. But we are going to go with let's go with the 6. I'm going to go with 6. Let's go with 6. You can do the 6 holes on top. You don't have to do 8, 10, or 12. You could do 6 on top, or you could do 6 on the side. I kind of like the 6 on the side, so let's go with the 6 on the side. In order to do the 6 on the side, this is 4 inches, so we only have to put it in 4 to 4. from the 4 mark to the 4 mark and punch. We don't have any extras we have to do. And now we have our holes on the side. Let's do our insides before. This is thinner paper, so it should cut better, should punch better. Again, we're going to go 4 and 4. I'm going to turn this down and just kind of put these on top. I'm not going to grab too many at once so that we can not jam up the machine. We're just going to keep punching on the left-hand side. And index cards has a red line on top. That means that is the top of the card. I'm not sure if you guys know that or noticed it. That is too many. Like I said, these index cards are thin. And I can't remember if I got these at Dollar Tree or Amazon. I've bought them both places. I think these are the Dollar Tree ones. And see how this didn't get a clean punch? I don't ever have this with the regular machine. So I'm still reserving judgment on this machine. So far, it's not bad. I would still recommend the full size over the mini. So I want my holes to be on this side. So we go 4 to 4. I'm going to make sure that it cut clean. And now I have a 4x6 book. And I need to put my wires on this side. So for this, we are going to do 6. So for one strip of wire, I've done 3 books, and I still have 3 left. I'm going to save these because this is half of another book. So don't throw these away. Now here we have 6. Remember, you don't want to put your wires in with the book exactly the way you have it. You want to bring that bottom and put it right on top. Then put your wires in. And because this is 6 holes, which is what this is made for, all 6 of these will go in here for one shot. But we want to make sure they are all the way to the back and they're not sticking out on the sides. They're all the way to the back. And there we go. See how perfectly it went perfectly round. Closed them all, and now I have a 4x6, a 3x5, and a 3x4. We have 3 cute little Christmas books. We're ready for Christmas in July. We also have some great measurements to go into the craftytinas cinch log. This time the cinch log will be called the Mini Cinch log. That is a little bit of a demonstration showing you the mini so you can compare them if you've only seen my videos with the full size. Now you've seen the video with the mini. I'd like to know what you guys think of the 2 machines. If you have both, give us some comments below. Tell us what you like and what you don't like about each of the machines. Hop over to my Facebook page so that you guys can get any printouts that I have, such as the cinch log. And coming this weekend, it's going to be a very small one, but we now have the cinch mini log underway. And I am going to post what I have so far so that you guys don't have to wait for that. So let me know. Make sure you subscribe because we are going to have some great Christmas things coming up this month because we are doing Christmas in July. If you subscribe, YouTube will notify you when I post a video. I don't post a lot of videos, so you won't get a lot of notifications, but you will be notified when my next video posts. Thanks guys for watching. I really hope you have a great July. We're going to be doing a lot of Christmas. And as always, happy crafting.